A video game console doesn't just blink, it hums, it winks, it sings. That hum is where the story begins. Not in a studio, not in some hoity-toity Hall of Fame, but inside a Tokyo imagination where three musicians took the noise of the future and turned it into melody. And here's the kicker. The brouhaha they unleashed would end up echoing through hip-hop, techno, pop, and even video games, decades before anyone thought it was possible. Yellow Magic Orchestra, Hosono, Sakamoto, and Takahashi were not building a band, they were designing a laboratory. Every dial they turned, every beat they sequenced, every sample they borrowed was an act of rebellion wrapped in a smile. They weren't interested in following trends, they were building them from scratch. By the late 70s, rock and disco were battling for the spotlight, but YMO walked straight into the fray with synths blazing, proving that electricity could groove harder than any guitar. Take Rydeen. What sounds at first like a bubbly arcade riff quickly mutates into an anthem that refuses to sit still. Its melody gallops, its percussion leaps, and its layers shimmer like neon kanji on a rainy street. The secret isn't just in the catchiness, it's in the engineering. The track plays like a machine and a human heartbeat at once, and live, it turned every concert into a digital carnival. Audiences didn't just dance, they felt like they'd stepped into the future. Then there's Behind the Mask. What started as a quirky synth-pop experiment became a global passport. Michael Jackson wanted it, Eric Clapton sang it, but at its core, it was YMO's sly smile at the way technology and identity were starting to blur. Vocoder vocals, surreal lyrics, and hypnotic bass. This wasn't just a song. It was a prophecy about masks we all wear, long before social media made the idea mainstream. You can call it pop, but that's like calling a katana a butter knife. And then Technopolis. A love letter and a warning shot to Tokyo itself. Here was a city morphing into a hub of microchips, neon, and endless speed. Funk bass collides with sequenced beats, and suddenly you're not just listening to music, you're standing inside a sonic skyscraper. Technopolis wasn't just about celebrating technology, it was about claiming it as culture. The message was clear, the future would have a beat, and YMO would be the ones writing it. The brouhaha these tracks stirred wasn't confined to Japan. Hip-hop producers heard the grooves and sampled them. European synth acts borrowed their methods. Even video game soundtracks owe their pulse to the experiments YMO left behind. Without them, there's no Depeche Mode as we know it, no Streets of Rage soundtracks, no blueprint for electronic cool. That's the paradox of YMO, playful yet serious, futuristic yet rooted, poppy yet subversive. They took what looked like poppycock at first, computer beeps, arcade noises, plastic beats, and turned it into the sound of progress. It's a reminder that music doesn't just come from instruments, sometimes it comes from machines, and sometimes it comes from the spaces in between, where noise becomes meaning. And here's the wildest part. Every time you hear a drum machine kick, every time you hear a synth riff that makes your chest wobble, you're hearing YMO's fingerprints. Rydeen's Gallop, Mask's Shadow, Technopolis' Skyline, they're not just songs. They're seeds. Seeds that sprouted into everything from stadium pop to bedroom producers with laptops. Yellow Magic Orchestra didn't just ride the wave of technology, they became the wave.